I think that they've been very in tune to what we're asking them to do. You never know what you're going to get until you turn the lights on, as we all know, right? But been really very pleased, very pleased. It's always interesting, the first game, but I think that there's a lot of clarity in terms of what they're supposed to be doing. Whether they do that or not when the game and there's the pressure on, we'll find out on Friday. But the great thing about the opening game, I've always kind of felt this way. Obviously everybody wants to win the first game and things of that nature, but it's always a great measuring stick for really where you are, especially when it's a new staff. That's the main event to me. We'll know on September 4th where we're at and where we need to be headed. So that's really kind of philosophically where we are defensively.
Obviously, you don't have any control over this, but what would you prefer for a new install? Would you rather play someone like South Carolina from a team from the ACC?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love these type of opening games. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And I think it's exciting for the kids. It's about them. It's not about us, right? So, I think it's an exciting opening game for our players and our fans and for everybody that's interested in college football. So, yes, I would much more prefer this type of environment than another.
How do you see DeJuan stepping up there on the defensive line?
DeJuan is coming along. He is, I think, day by day starting to, I guess, kind of catch on to all of the details of the position. And really that's for everybody right now. We're all trying to, there's been a lot thrown at him. And so now we're kind of in the phase of we're trying to narrow everything down and get ready for a game. And I think everybody's getting a little more clarity because there's a lot more detail and a lot less broad picture to learn for them when you narrow the game plan down. So I think that's happening to everybody. But DeJuan's definitely coming along and he's doing a really nice job.
We want to get the bad taste out of our mouth from our last bowl game versus Rutgers. We haven't been on the field in 8-9 months. We haven't faced another opponent. So, that's the taste that's been sitting in our mouths for, since end of December. So we're really looking forward to, showing people who our new defense is and how we're going to play the rest of the year.
How you doing, man? Good. JP mentioned that biggest question mark that he's got is what will happen when the lights come on. But with you and Shaq, really, the experienced leaders of that defense, how do you help some of the younger guys kind of persevere through the spotlight?
Just tell them it's another football game. Our guys know our defense well, and they've been executing in practice, and just think of it like that. We're going to be so prepared that they're not going to have to think out there. They're going to be able to react and just play football like they have since they were, 4 or 5 years old. So it is going to be very cool for some guys. At the beginning, I think some guys are going to be wide-eyed, but that's just anyone in their first few college football games. But it's just once the game gets started, just boil down to traditional football that you've been playing your whole life. So I think we'll be ready for it. I don't think it's going to be a big issue for us.
Now, obviously, the tape wouldn't be from this year, but what have you seen on film from South Carolina?
First of all, their size. They're an SEC team, so they have big offensive linemen, big running backs. In skilled positions, they're very fast. They're a good football team. I think they just named their starting quarterback, so that's kind of one of the questions they've had in the whole offseason, and now they've answered it. So we're looking forward to getting after the quarterback. He's young; it'll be his first start. Anytime you get an inexperienced quarterback, you want to rattle him and make him throw in a tight window. So that's what you can expect us to do.
It wasn't as much anything about Kaysen. I thought Kaysen worked hard and had a really good camp and had a good spring. It was more what Joe did, and I thought every day he came prepared, every day he worked. He competes in the meeting room and he competes on the field, and I think he put himself in a position where he really took advantage of the opportunity, and he earned the right to run with the first group.
And Larry he's talked a little bit about Shaq and Jeff kind of being leaders on the defense. Have you seen that in the meeting room, and do you like that standpoint?
Oh, yeah. Things? I've been blessed coming in here trying to teach a new system and a new scheme to have guys like that in the room. Two veteran presences who do things the right way on and off the field. Both very smart guys who are able to pick up the system quickly. So for me, it's been a blessing to be able to work with those guys. The reality is, this is an untested group with a lot of guys in terms of game situation. How are we going to respond to adversity? how are we going to respond when we don't make a play or when South Carolina scores. What's going to be our reaction both on the sideline and the next time we take the field. So we'll have a much better feel for our group after game one than obviously we have right now, and it's going to got to continue to be a gradual process for us where we continue to improve every day, and that's from now until the end of the season.